that. Definitely on the goal.
Let's see. I can see you down that corner, Jay.
You can see me okay?
Yeah, I can see you okay.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, interesting. So you can see me even hidden?
Yeah. Well, I can't. Yeah. No, I mean, no, you're not hidden. You're on the screen right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But when I wasn't, you could still. It was interesting.
Yeah, I could. Well, I have that little like admin control thing off to the side and everything like that. So, hey everybody, we're going live, multi-platform right now. We're kind of just prepping for our show coming up on Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's going to be, I'm living in Australia, so the time difference is going to be a little bit different here. But so it's going to be Tuesday night Pacific Standard for people at 7 o'clock. But for me, it's actually going to be Wednesday for me here. So at noon that I'll be doing it. So I'll be doing it during my lunch break over here when I work from home on Wednesdays, and that way we can kind of hit both sides of the spectrum if we want to, on everything. So whatever questions and things you guys have, please let me know. But we're excited because we're going to be doing some giveaways here coming up this Tuesday and Wednesday, along with a huge announcement that I have for something that we just released, as well as kind of the opportunities that are coming up shortly here. Coming up for some gold prospecting adventures with some locals and some different trips that I have planned coming up in Australia to chase that big gold. So it's going to be good times. Got a bunch of people joining in. Welcome. Yeah, so I'm just kind of here just testing everything out right now, and we're just kind of seeing how everything works because we're using the Restream right now. I'm not on TikTok right now for those on TikTok, but for Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube right now, we're using all of them, and we're seeing how well it goes. Yeah, we can see if Jay, if you want to pop over to YouTube real quick and see if you can pop it up on one of your screens and then throw in a chat. We'll see if it actually works and pulls into this Restream or not. So kind of interesting trying to do a multi-platform stream here, and we've been navigating, but putting together a pretty good show here for everybody. I am trying to get my TikTok linked to it right now. We are having some issues and stuff like that. Oh yeah, there we go. We can see it. So perfect. Yep. So there we go. So if you're on TikTok, I'm gonna get linked up here. But if you're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right now, I'm able to pull everybody in, all the chats at the same time. I'm going to be trying to slowly pull in more and more people and more platforms to kind of make this a thing. We're going to be hosting a lot of guests on this show as well and doing a lot of giveaways. That's going to be a big thing. And then just talking about gold prospecting and family adventures outdoors, a whole bunch and as much as possible. So that way we can inspire you to get out there and can hear from other people and kind of lessons learned and things you can do. The one thing I would like to say is for all the giveaways, though, you got to be on my Patreon. And I'm not asking you to do, I had to set up a paid one because it forces you to, but all you need to do is actually sign up for the free one on Patreon, and you guys will be included on the giveaways because that's the only way it can kind of like situate you guys and send it directly to you because it collects your email and information, and that way I can send you some of the digital stuff as well as everything else. So what's going on, Patriot Prospecting? What's going on, Elaine? So we're just testing this out. We can see there's multi setup here on this multi-stream process, but I'm liking the chat window, Jason. I don't know. I can unmute you here if you're liking it.
Oh yeah, the chat. Yeah, it looks good.
It actually.
I'm already getting trolled from my light behind me because it looks terrible, but here I am, folks. Twin brother, live in the flesh here with my camera from 1993. You can find this model on eBay if you're interested. I will be upgrading it shortly. Cheers.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's funny because I forget that I'm also on TikTok over here on my phone, and they're not hearing any of that. What's going on? All they're hearing is me just randomly giggling right now. So
Being a little giggler, huh?
it's a little bit giggle on here.
What's up? Patriot Prospecting in the house.
He's joining me on this, and he's going to be helping me with the show and help moderate chat and do some stuff, especially for our Q&A portion at the end of the show. But we do have a big lineup for the show. So one of the things we will be doing is every time the show happens, I'll be trying a different Australian type of food. And then kind of giving you a crush or flush scenario on whether or not you would like it, if I liked it, and then that way we can kind of work through it on each episode to see how some of this food is. What's up, John? Oh, that's my neighbor, my old neighbor. What's up, man? So we're getting slowly settled. So I've been in Australia now for 4 months, and we just got our household goods last week. So we've been slowly setting up stuff and getting situated in the house. It's been kind of a nightmare. We basically camped out of our house with blow up mattresses that you had to pump in the middle of the night as they would lose air. And then we're living in the winter right now. So it's a little bit different being in the winter here. Without anything in your house because it gets really cold and you have no way to heat it because furniture and adding things to your house kind of warms up the place. So appreciate it, Doug. Thank you.
So you've been camping essentially.
Camping essentially, yeah, basically in the house. So it's been interesting. It definitely makes you appreciate when you get your stuff, but it also makes you realize how little you need to survive. And a lot of the stuff that you have in your house, you don't really use. It's just there for decoration. So,
True.
Right. Oh yeah. So that's one thing we'll be discussing on the show coming up. Alaska is basically the winter in July here, and actually Christmas in July because it's a huge event. And we actually just got done doing the winter festival here in Bathurst, which is about 3 hours outside of Sydney. Where we did an outdoor ice skating rink and everything like that. So it's pretty cool. Just kind of like the differences. So that means come Christmas time, it's going to be bloody hot, very hot during the winter. During Christmas and when it's winter for everybody else, with the northern.
Still do Christmas trees during the summer?
There will be, but I don't know if there's I don't know how prolific it's going to be, but I've heard that
grow your own or something.
Yeah, they're getting more. They're pulling in more and more of the American holidays, from what I understand. Working with some of the Australian Defence Force here, is the fact that they actually started celebrating like Thanksgiving, Halloween's becoming a thing. What's going on, Flashy Pan? Ed, love it.
So you said bloody hot. You're adapting already.
I was gonna say I'm starting to learn the terminology for sure. That's definitely a thing. So is the terminology and learning and adapting it and understanding it, because there's a lot of times we'll get in conversations and I'll tell you, you just kind of nod your head and you're like, I think I know what he meant, but you just don't know. So
yeah, you're like a foreigner basically. So
exactly.
A lot of nodding and squinting and smiling until you figure it out.
Exactly. Start learning some of the terms and things going on.
Got Canada in the house. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Been to Canada one time with my brother. It was a good trip.
We
took a ferry.
We took a ferry. That was actually a really fun trip. It was a lot of driving. I drove all the way from SoCal, picked up Jason up in Eureka in Northern California, and then we headed all the way up to my in-laws up in Washington, where I met my family. And then I got super sick, could not move for 3 days, but we had this huge trip planned with Pioneer Polly and Kyle from Crux, where we can go sniping for gold with Polly on his claims. And I remember just mad bad things happening in my stomach, my guts, a lot of bathroom trips. And we had to sit there, and we were one car away from getting on the ferry. and it was that one spot where the ferry only comes every 3 hours, so
Yep.
we couldn't
We had
even
to
get
wait
on
like.
it.
Oh. I remember that wait, dude. That wait was brutal.
It was brutal. It was so
But
brutal.
Canada was freaking beautiful. So
It was, and we got through customs, which was a, a little nerve wracking. She was definitely digging for some stuff. Definitely don't have a child's car seat in the back of your truck hooked up if there's no child in it. It causes a lot of questions when you come across the border. What's going on, Steve?
I love playing with my
And we got
crutch.
Job in the house. That's who I've been digging with a lot up here. We've been hitting a lot. We've actually done two different digs with him up here in Australia, over in Hill End and Bathurst area. So, oh, that's awesome, man. Oh, sweet. So he does the Job's gold painting adventures up there. So he basically throughout the whole week he's actually giving gold painting tours up there for visitors, people from the local area or out of towners and different schools and stuff like that, and they actually find quite a bit of gold where he takes them, so it's really, really cool.
Nice. Yes. Melissa, loved the video you made with Pioneer Poly, I think.
Yeah, she's a huge fan of Pioneer Poly. She's up there actually in Washington State as well.
Good guy, man. Good guy.
Right. I was gonna say, so we're excited to link up. I know he was over here in New Zealand when I was just starting to get settled in here in Australia, but so we couldn't link up or anything like that. But there's some big plans in the future to do some more collab stuff. I will be heading the first 2 weeks in October. I'll be heading down to Victoria, to the Golden Triangle they call it here in Australia. To the gold fields down there, and I'll be linking up with Vogus, Chris, Buckshot. I mean, there's so many people on the list that we're going to be linking up with. Stumpy Picks. I mean, Dan. I mean, there's going to be, so we have a bunch of stuff in the works and a lot of plans coming up for some of these collabs and really just explore areas. And luckily, everything's not too far away. Only about 10 hours drive, so we'll do it in 2 days and kind of stop along the way and collab with people, and then we'll go hit all the Australian gold fields. So it's
Nice,
pretty
man.
awesome.
You got a plan. I like it.
We got a plan.
Got a plan.
Right.
Need to get my YouTube game going. I'm always doing the TikTok stuff, it seems, as Alaska Gold Hunter. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know all about YouTube. Share your knowledge, Chris.
Well, he's on there, Alaska. He was actually on the Gold Rush show. So
Oh, she is.
yeah. So he knows what he's doing.
Okay.
He's actually been doing some good content. I actually been watching your stuff, Alaska, with in regards to you're talking about Todd Hoffman and everything. They didn't get their contract renewed, and everything with their digging gear and everything. So it looks like Hoffman Gold might not necessarily be coming back or not. We'll see what happens.
Oh, we got a question about your book here.
Actually, Melissa, that might, I'm not saying it is, but it might be something that will be discussed on the Wednesday show.
Ooh,
And
are you teasing something?
I'm teasing something. There might be a book dropping that day. We'll see what happens. I know there might be some giveaways with it as well. So, some big
Ooh.
things. It might be perfect timing, for Christmas in July. So, right. No, super exciting. What else? I'm starting to go through my TikTok chats because I totally forgot I was on that. MKR. Oh yeah, we got plenty of gold to show. I don't have any right now because I'm still just getting stuff settled, and I don't even have half my clothes out of the boxes. So if you see me, it's the same shirts on all these videos coming up. It's okay. I just got lazy. So time difference over here. That's a great question. So Jason, you're Pacific Standard Time right now. What time is it right now for you?
6:52 Pacifics for me.
6:52. So I live in the future. So I'm actually on Sunday, and I'm at 11:52 a.m. So how I've been able to kind of like wrap my brain around it is I'm in the future about a full day minus 7 hours.
So 5:52. So he's an hour behind me. So he's 6 hours difference. 6 hours in the past.
6 hours.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes.
Did I do that right?
Yes.
It's very confusing every time you try to figure out where he's at in the future.
I know. It's just kind. I mean, I wish like actually having a time difference, you could actually the future would matter. You know, like we're like,
Right.
I know what happens in the stock market. Let me tell you about it. You know,
Right.
type thing. But it's not
Oh,
like
that'd be
that. It's just everything's just different. So it makes no sense to me. Just
It's very true. Yeah, you're not really in the future. You're just
no.
it actually blows my mind. But
I'll say that the seasonal stuff, that's what's crazy. Like you don't truly think about that until you
I
live
didn't
in a
think.
country
Yeah,
like, and it
yeah.
kind of it's hard to wrap your brain about it. Like, oh, it's it's summer for everybody over there, but it's winter for us over here.
So 9:53. Yeah, because I'm West Coast. He's
He's
is
East
East
Coast.
Coast.
Yeah,
So that makes sense.
yeah,
So that is 10 hours in the
yeah,
future for you.
yeah, yeah.
So just minus 10 hours, Doug, from where you're at. Or wait,
No, so
whatever
it's
he says, you go back 10 hours.
yeah,
Whatever Chris says.
yeah. It'd be the day ahead, but then add 10 hours.
Yeah, day ahead at 10. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh boy.
that's what it. Yeah, yeah. Whew.
Woo.
Oh, we're gonna be getting a headache if we think about this too long.
Yeah,
Hey,
too much
Doug.
math.
One thing about my book, though, is interesting. You talk about North Carolina. That might be brought up in the in a second book that's coming out here shortly. So, yeah, mining on the bottom of the world. No, I know it's kind of crazy. I haven't died yet, too, which is nice. So the thing I am learning as I've been going out on these trips and stuff like that is since it's winter, a lot of the killer everything here is tucked away hibernating. So we're kind of learning the area, learning the scope, kind of how to navigate the Australian bushland to make sure that you know, the kids kind of understand that it's not like what you can do in most of the United States, where you can kind of just run free a little bit. You kind of have to can't be running in anything with long grass in Australia. There's a lot of things that like to hide. Plus, they have like the top 20 things that kill you in the world are all in Australia. So,
See, we were watching, mom and dad were watching the race to New Zealand, and apparently on that continent there are no like spiders. I don't know if there's snake. There's very limited
yes,
things that can get you. But Australia, you're saying not the same.
not the same. Just
Not
everything
the
wants to
same.
kill you. It's just an arduous island. Do what's crazy when you think about Australia. So there's a like the platypus. There's a few other things. I think wombats. There's a few other mammals and creatures and bugs. Since it's such an isolated, faraway island,
Hmm.
in a sense, I mean, it's huge. It's like almost the size of the United States, which also people don't get. Um, but it's not like it's not like South America and North America where you might see something migrate up into North America on accident somehow. There's not like that. So there's a lot of stuff in Australia that's only can be found in Australia,
Right, right.
and
Because it's
so
landlocked. Yeah.
it's landlocked, yeah, or waterlocked, not land, yeah,
Waterlocked. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah,
waterlocked.
yeah.
And then also Australia, like almost like 90% of it's uninhabited because it's all like desert country and everything like that. It's
It's
literally
Satan's pet play.
so true.
Uh, Hi, Elaine. Good to
That's
see
so
you.
funny. Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. You know, and then also a lot of people just stay to coastal towns. So you just have main hubs like Sydney, you have Melbourne and Victoria, that area, and then you have Perth on the other side, you know, and then Darwin up north and Queensland and different areas where there's a lot of hubs of people, but then the whole center area is nothing. There's just desert. No one lives out there. If you drive out there, you better bring a lot of fuel with you because there's no gas stations and things like that.
So, how would you say the gold is compared to the desert so far in your small experience? More gold, chunkier gold, less gold? What
There's
are you
more gold
seeing?
everywhere. Yeah, there's a lot more. Gold is more prolific here than it is where I was at. I mean, we were on a hot spot before I left on that gold claim, 80 acres that we had near Barstow, where we were just hitting it every time. But from what I've seen here in Australia and just talking with everybody, it's just, again, it's just getting out there and starting to hit the spots, learning where everything's at, and then you can just start, you'll pull in more gold a lot more quickly. But it's also interesting how very few prospectors I've met so far in a lot of these gold bearing areas. Because again, it's not like people are trying to do it full time. It's just more like hobby mining and stuff. So, what's up,
Gotcha.
Mandy Candy? Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting as I like get more and more comfortable, and then linking up and networking with people. Kind of find out what I would call my home grounds, where I might go there more frequently. I mean, Bathurst is where we've been going a lot. It's 3 hours away, which makes for an easy weekend trip. The drive is not bad at all. There's a lot of places along the way where we can stop, grab food, do different stuff. There's a lot of opportunity there. So, like during the summer, I definitely am going to be able to gold snipe there. That's a great spot. The Turin River, a lot of exposed bedrocks. I can use all the skills we learned up with Pioneer Poly up in Victoria, and then kind of do it there as well as the waters start going down. There's a lot of areas there that you can crevice and everything like that. Pop out some bedrock.
Is there any restrictions on like running pumps near the shore?
Yes. So
Yeah.
New South Wales is very strict on that. You can only use basically hand shovels and pans and sluices, river sluices. You can't use any kind of mechanized gear at all. It's not like
Oh,
even
wow.
in Victoria or California where you can use mechanized gear, but you have to be so far away, and your tailings, water has to settle so far away before it can run back. New South, you can't use any mechanized gear. You can't even use a shop vac, actually. It's actually, they consider it land dredging if you use a shop vac to
Wow.
to vacuum up. But then it's
Oh,
funny,
wow.
then you go down to Victoria area, because
Hmm.
everything's like separated in states, as they call them. So New South Wales, and then you have Victoria, and that's where Melbourne and Goldra. You can use high bankers there. You can high bank right in the water.
Oh, wow.
They don't
Okay.
care. Queensland's a little bit different as well. So every place has different things and rules and regulations. So you kind of just have to like see it, uh, and look through it. But then you have to get permits everywhere too. So that's one thing you have to do, is you have to get permits in all the different states. So even though I have a permit in New South Wales, I have to get one when I go to Victoria, and the different costs, how long you get them for, and everything.
Wow.
Flash, have I talked to Sean yet? Which Sean? I'm sorry. I've met so many people, and I'm really bad with names. I know a lot of them by like their creator tag as opposed to their real like first names.
That
So,
makes sense. That's how everyone was. Yeah.
which is really bad. Unless her name's Chris, like Chris Borges with Vogus. Yeah, yeah, yes. I haven't. I've talked to both of them. Yeah, so I'll be hitting up with them come the first 2 weeks in October. I go down there, so we're gonna be stopping in his home grounds. I'm gonna be staying there for a couple days and do some collab stuff and everything. Get the kids out there and everything, and do some digging with them. And then before we head down into Victoria and Ballarat, because that's where our main hub's gonna be. We're gonna end up in Ballarat, and I mean, another huge town. A lot, has everything you need. So it's awesome. Yes. Yep. That's correct,
Oh,
Elaine. It's beautiful country too. It's very country. It's honestly, when you drive out there, it reminds me of like Arcata, McKinleyville type thing. So very like a lot of farmland, sheep. A lot of people shear out there. That's what they do for jobs. Is a lot of farm country, and then raising cattle and stuff. And then you just see kangaroos everywhere. That's the crazy part, is how much money you spend to see kangaroos in a zoo, and they're everywhere here. And they're like deer on the side of the road though, which is kind of sad. Is they get hit a lot. So it's just the
oh,
whole side of the road is littered with them. Not just like a few. There's like hundreds of them. You're just driving down the road, and they're like every few feet, just along the
wow.
side of the road.
Do
It's
they
kind of
do they
intense.
mess with humans like in the videos I watch on TikTok and YouTube?
Oh yeah, yeah. If they,
They
yeah,
do.
they
They
you can get.
muscle up and
Yeah, well, they're like baby raptors. That's what people don't get. They claw, and so
okay.
even with their hands, they got some big nails, and then their feet. And so what they do is they launch from their tail, and they'll launch with their feet, and they'll do a raking motion.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah. So they're like they're like true like dinosaur raptors, like type of creatures. But then some of them are super nice.
Right, right. They're
But then
normal.
you get your aggressive ones. So.
It's like dogs, right?
Right, exactly, right.
Cats, you know. Good ones
And
and
then
bad ones.
wombats, you gotta watch out for wombats. So, wombats are like, you know, they're like miniature sized bears, like black
I'm
bears,
looking them up, yeah, because I didn't.
but
My
they're
brain
actually
didn't
way
know.
bigger out here than like when you see them on the side of the road, you're like, oh, that's like a black bear on the side, and you're like, nope, that's a wombat. But if you hit a wombat with your car, it will total your car completely. So you have to avoid them at all cost. You don't want to hit a
Okay.
wombat.
They eat grass, okay, and shrubs and trees
Yep,
3 to 8 hours a day.
yep, that's all they do.
They live up to 15 years, but they can live up to 20 to 30. Holy moly.
And if you ever visit Tasmania, actually, there is a place, a rescue place where they need people to take wombats on walks. So you can actually like take wombats on
What?
walk, and so you can go down there and they need volunteers to like basically hang out with the wombats and take them out places. So if you
It's
ever want to,
wild, man.
I know it's kind of crazy. That's kind of
Hey,
crazy.
if you need content, go walk a wombat, all right?
I was gonna say I gotta find a pet one or something. So
Yeah,
you know.
that'd be wild, man.
Right? I was
Wild.
gonna say, be good times. Well, I think this is pretty much it. We just wanted to test this and see how it works and see how the chat kind of goes. And I think this kind of solidifies everything we're kind of going for. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. Um, hey, what's up, Evan? Evan Hurst. I
Evan, what up, man?
was gonna say, bringing back those cutting days.
Seriously.
Right?
Evan and Cole. You know what's crazy is Cole Stanford, Evan. Um, he worked at out at me with the school for a little bit, so it's
Oh, that's
crazy.
awesome. I
Yeah.
know it's a small little
Anyways,
world.
yeah.
Small little world.
You remember Miss Quigley, our signing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
still know I pledge allegiance to the flag. I know it all, you know.
Right.
Still know it, man. Sign language, you know, awesome.
Sticks with
So
you, right?
yeah, it
Well, it's
sticks
one of
with
those
you.
things too, where languages where you actually get to use your hands. So I find that it's
Yeah, it's
easier
like
to learn.
gestures. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
helpful. I mean, I use it with the kids
exactly.
I teach, so it's like, yeah, it's helpful.
I could barely speak English, and you're gonna try to teach me this, Spanish or whatever. I can't remember the words because you're not using them all the time. But when you're using your
Right.
hands, it kind of gives you. I don't know. For me, it's like hands-on learning, basically. So. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna sign off here. But Tuesday and Wednesday we'll have our show. Make sure you sign up on Patreon, please, so that way I can include you guys on the giveaways. We'll be giving away a bunch of digital stuff come this Wednesday that Melissa might have tapped into with some of her questions that we're excited about, and then we'll be kind of like going through stuff. So appreciate everybody stopping by. I'm glad that this worked out as well as I had hoped. So still a few kinks to work out with getting TikTok on here, so I can include them, and then Instagram as well. But this is pretty cool. So hey, have a good night, you guys. Have a safe weekend, and Jason, thanks for stopping by. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Oh,
Looking
yeah.
forward to your show.